Hello, Admiral and welcome back to UltimateAdmiralDreadnoughts Dreadnoughts and our Shipyard Champions. This will be heading into week 4 of our first season. And as we do every week, before we jump on to looking at this week's challenge, let's have a quick look at the scores from last week. If you remember, last week's challenge was Revenge on the Sea Jaeger, which was an absolute behemoth of a German battleship. Essentially with the biggest ship that could be made and a few accompanying friends, and we had to build a fleet to sink it. So here are the results. So as you can see, the 4 YouTubers still left in the competition all managed to sink the fleet, but coming in ahead without losing a ship and in the fastest time was Brother Monroe, so congrats to him. Myself, I finished, well, either a respectable joint third or last, depending on how you want to look at it. But yeah, and I think that was probably evident the way we struggled a little bit, especially against the second heavy cruiser. Having looked a little bit at the kind of performance and some of the tweaks, I think I have erred in not picking the technology, the ammo technology that would have given me some boosts to armor penetration. Because I think theoretically my shells would penetrate on paper, but that's obviously at a perfect angle, and I think we got a fair few kind of reduced angles from a range of combat, etc., where we weren't punching through it, and I think that would have given us a little bit more oomph, even if each shell did less damage, but was more likely to punch through. But that's okay, always a learning experience. And yeah, and congrats Brother Monroe for, I think that might be his second win, so we'll have to see if we can claw it back this week. Okay then, what is this week's challenge? Well, this week's challenge, well, it's not going to be an hour-long marathon of a video, that much I can promise you, because it's a fairly straightforward one. We have to build and design a ship, surprisingly enough, and we have to take on an AI ship of 1 class above. So if we want to build a battlecruiser, we have to give them a battleship. We build a heavy cruiser, we give them a battlecruiser, light cruiser, heavy cruiser, so on and so forth. And then we get 1 point if we sink the enemy ship. Fairly straightforward. And we also get an additional point if we choose to build a class but none of the other contestants choose. So if I build a heavy cruiser and Brother Monroe builds a heavy cruiser, then we don't get any bonus points. And of course we don't know what everyone else is doing, so it's a little bit of a gamble. So you're trying to think, what are people going to do? So battle cruiser into battleship's probably a fairly obvious one. I think you could build something pretty chunky that you could win there. As is potentially light into heavy. Light cruiser into heavy cruiser. I think that's probably, you could probably build a pretty good matchup there. But then maybe some of these are so obvious that everyone avoids it, and you'll end up doing the same stuff. So a little bit of thought there, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. I just thought, let's do something that's going to be a little bit more fun. And so I thought, well, why don't we try and see if we can get a destroyer to take out a light cruiser? And because I was having a few thoughts about how we might go about that, and a couple of things. So we get to choose the range, the weather, the time of day, the nation, and the year. So lots of freedom of choice. And I thought, well, let's go. I want to go early in tech, where light cruisers are still pretty small. So is my destroyer. I wanted to go early in tech as well, because the bigger ships are going to be slower. Guns are going to be less accurate. And what I thought is essentially I'm going to make a giant torpedo boat of a destroyer and see if I can't charge in and sink the light cruiser before one of their random shell hits take me out. So I want it to be close range, I want it to be early years in technology, and for weather we probably want it to be cloudy, which might impact viewing ability here, but I think it's going to give us the best chance for malices to their hit chance, which is what we want, and should hopefully not impact us too much with our torpedo chance. And yeah, just day is probably fine. I think there might be glare modifiers, so do you know what, let's go morning then, see if we can use that to our advantage. And that's it. It's fairly straightforward. And I picked Russians for no particular reason. Again, I'm not that familiar with the hulls which they could have available to them, but you know, they don't strike me as a fantastically great pedigree of naval enterprise in the 1900s. So let's go with that. So without further ado, let's jump in and have a look at the destroyer in question. And so here she is, the racing snake, as I've called her, because my design principles here have been to go and try and get her as fast as possible and load her up with torpedoes. That's the kind of two two boxes I am looking to tick. So I've got up to 34 knots. Actually, can we squeeze any more? No, that's costing us a large chunk of our weight. So 34 knots. The light cruiser is probably going to be going, I don't know, maybe 20-ish. We'll have to see what the design AI comes up with. So it's a good advantage we've got, and we're starting close in, so hopefully we can close to torpedo range pretty quickly. I've got rid of the range, nerfed that down. Again, we'll take veterans because that's purely a cost. And then really for the propulsion components, I've picked a few things which either impact our overall weight, so better armor, better boilers. I did take reinforced bulkheads, which negatively affects weight just for a little bit of survivability, but the kind of single hull and anti-flood I've just ignored really. And then in terms of armament, we've got a wee 2-inch pop gun at the front because you've got to have a gun, and then I'm just trying to load her up with torpedoes. So we've got essentially a 6 torpedo broadside, albeit this one at the back is being shared. And with torpedoes, the big design choice I really had here was 18 or 19-inch torpedoes, because there's quite a step up in terms of damage when you go up to 18-inch. And it's only 3 tons. Oh, I wonder if I could make that work. But it does, and they obviously range and speed, they are detected earlier, which will give the AI more chance to dodge them. But if we get in close, we might be okay. I mean, our pitch, our roll, our efficiency are not great, but maybe we can work with that. For the actual pop gun, yeah, I'm just taking all the kind of cheaper options. I don't really expect it to do anything at all for me. And then the other big choice was around whether we want to go increase their standard ammo for in case we get a second shot, but I really couldn't afford the increase in the weight. So now I just have to ponder upon myself whether I can justify. I mean, it's only 3 tons. No, it doesn't let you go over it at all. I mean, you could just get rid of all of our armor. Oh, it doesn't even work. Okay. No, and I don't want to drop the speed. I don't really want to nerf my bulkheads even more. So tell you what, why don't we come back down to say, I think 17 inches should get the job done. He says based on very little. And maybe we could spend the extra on not on bulkheads. No. Many? No, still not many. Oh, I suppose maybe we could have a little bit more armor? Sure. I don't really need deck armor though. We'll tweak it a little bit just so it's something. Nah, we're so close that's going to be fine. Let's go. See what we can get away with here. I mean, they're not going to stop most main shells, but it might be something if they've got very small secondaries. You never know. How are we doing? Right, we've got 1 ton to play around with. Okay, I don't know. I'll call that good enough. Armor's not really important. The main thing we're going for here is speed. Slightly 4-way offset, but that should be fine. Yeah, okay, and this is it. We're going to give it a go. And the idea here, we only get 1 chance of this, obviously. And my idea here is to get in quick as we can, torpedoes away, and then run away. Actually, do we lose a point if we get sunk? I suppose not, but the fight would end. So we need to make sure she goes down. Wish us luck. Okay, here we are in the battle, starting, well, I said 1,000 kilometers, apparently we're going to start about 1,500, so just outside our torpedo range. We should be going max speed. We are. I'm going to pop a smoke screen straight away, which should impact their ability to hit, although we're pretty darn close. I'm going to put my torpedo solutions onto save, so I don't really want to launching with low probability, just because we've got good ammo, but it's the reload time I think will really cause us problems. I mean, let's just go forward. And then we just have to hope that this cruiser misses. Oh, I meant to have a look at the cruiser actually, which we can't do because we can't see it. It is riding pretty low in the water already. Can I see what kind of armament you have? You've got one at the front's probably, I don't know, like a 5 or 6 inch gun. Hard still. I don't. Right. Okay. Let's just wait until we get our display going. Oh, that's a bigger shell. Don't hit. That's the one that's one of those, I think, and it's going to be a little bit of game over. At some point, I'm hoping you're going to launch these things. Maybe I should just go into normal. We actually hit with a 2-inch gun. That's brilliant. Right, come on, launch. When you are veterans, alright, just go normal. I tire the way. Torpedoes away. Excellent. Now we're going to have to try and swing around so we can get our other side away. Oh, hang on, we can now identify the light cruiser. It is the Askold, so indeed it is a 6-inch gun at the front. It also has, or 5.7, call it what you like. One of those, a 4 and a 3, and a couple of torpedoes herself, with a top speed of 24 knots actually. It's a bit nippier than I was expecting. We'll see how she responds to our torpedoes. Presumably we'll try and turn away from them. It's a good spread though, 4 torpedoes. That's not good. One hit against us. We cannot take many. Now, her turning and running, I think, yeah, look at that, dodging our torpedoes there, is the most problematic of scenarios. Ow. Just gonna have to ride our luck a little bit here as we turn. Yeah, and those torpedoes are miles away. Let's go down to save. Oh, actually, we launched. Oh, no, it's hers. That's hers. Shh. Let's see if we can't pull up alongside. This is, I think, it's a good range for launch torpedoes. It's also a great range for her to shoot us. Now, if we get hit by her torpedo, I'm going to be pretty annoyed by that. Faster, 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 faster. Just squeaked in. Nice. Okay, did we launch? Oh, we've launched one there. Where's our torpedoes away? Good. Yes, yes, perfect. Now we just have to not die to our gunfire. Can we turn harder? Wrong way. Turn that way, please. Yes! Beautiful. Ah, there we go. Right, turn, 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 turn. Oh no! Ow, 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 ow. How's she doing? Go on, go under. Go under. We need to get out of here. My racing snake is sinking. No! We got too close. Don't tell me she's stabilized there. Oh well, never mind. Oh, I'm gonna. No, I was gonna say we both went up, but technically, just that last bit of the end, she survived with just enough to not be sinking. Just didn't quite have the tight enough angle on the turn there to escape her short range gunnery. But well, that was fun. So that's going to be another week coming in last place. But hey, we don't do this for the competition, we do it for the funsies. And that was a fun experiment, if nothing else. Grand. Well, look, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheerio!